Daughter OV God 666 is asking or saying, I feel I struggle to get out of body of late and I have a poor imagination. How do I create species or race I would like to incarnate into my next lifetime, and how do I program myself to go there? Good. This is easy enough for me, and hopefully I can explain it in an easy way that would, like a lot of you can do it without really having a good imagination. So for you, one thing you can do is use, DuckDuckGo, Google, ArtStation, DeviantArt, a lot of places where you can find some sort of art. And literally, how you start with creating your own race and species is that you have a thought. And a lot of you, I've made a video about it and a lot of you watched it, we talk about how our sexual fantasies. You think of something and you're actually manifesting that realm. Well, everything you think about and fantasize, even like, oh, wouldn't it be great if me and this wonderful person just had a date, and you just you spin a story for a minute or two, and you get satisfied and you're done. Well, you literally created that place where you and that person are there, still, up to this current day. And same way, people are talking about having higher self or over self, and why am I not getting any help? Well, gee, if you created something and forgot about it and you never came back to it, your higher self is doing the exact same thing. You're here and the higher self is completely forgot if you even exist. Huh. And you need to call to them and get their attention somehow, and how would you do that? And literally, a lot of our own creations are trying to get that. For example, you spin a sexual fantasy with that specific person, or maybe more of them. Maybe you have your own harem and all the stuff. And those people, your fantasy can be stuck in a loop. And it just keeps on happening, and all of a sudden it just drains you out of energy, and fuck. And these beings stuck in your realm are trying to get your attention by doing more stuff. Okay, come on, pinch them and they're gonna wake up kind of thing. So they're gonna mess with you, they're gonna drain you more, they're let's say gonna get involved in various activities to where, your physical body is gonna pick up the effects. And this is how we can get you look, I just had this dream, for example, and it was very vivid, or this thought just came to me, and why is it coming back? And a lot of beings that we create are trying to get our attention. So with all that being said, everything you think of with a little bit of an intention, you don't need to have a great imagination. It can be shit, but if you can think, and a lot of you can, just that is enough to literally create anything. So that being said, you start with, okay, so I want to create a race or species that I would go to after I die. How do I start? Well, describe to yourself, how would you like them to look like? How would your perfect race look like? And you're a god, you're a designer right now. You don't need to have imagination, you can literally draw them. You can look online for ideas, oh, okay. And literally, you can have your own little journal. You can have your own, notebooks, and okay, just gonna write it down over here. And you start with, okay, so my race, called this, and you give them a name if you want to. I don't really care about names. And then you're gonna go into, okay, humanoid looking, tall, maybe 6 feet, 7 feet tall, and you just go into details, their looks, their personality, their characteristics, their abilities, what can they do, what can they do, their thinking, their values, and you just go deeper into the beingness of those creatures you're creating. And the same place, okay, so I have my perfect image, you're just being a god right now, you just design your being. And now, how would that place look like? Is it a realm? Is it a planet? And then you go into, okay, so let's see, even this image right now, you see in the background, there's a little boat over there, there's these ruins that are grown with the, you just find an image and just write it to yourself, how would it look like? For some people, oh, well, it's gonna be huge-ass crystals and pyramids and, flying mountains and rocks over there with structures and cities on, flying those rocks and all this stuff. I'm just going to, and the sky is gonna be purple, why not? Flying dragons, that would be cool. And then no Loch Ness monsters, no. And you just go into however you want to portray your realm. And you literally can read some books, you can look at images online, you can play some games, you can watch movies, and get tons of ideas of your own perfect realm, of your own perfect planet, the looks and everything else. And then you just write down, okay, this is how I want that place to look like. And you just have an idea for the creatures, their beingness, their personality and everything else, the place, and where is it, and then is it in duality or not in duality? Duality system, this is where physical earth is and everything else. And you're no, it's my own personal creation, it's my own place that is not connected to any duality, not physical, no 3D, no 4D, far away from it. away from Archons and all the bad things. It's just my peaceful place, and you just write your own story. You literally write your own book, for example, or how would you describe those beings? You're creating that realm by writing, by thinking about it. And once you write it all down, you can like, okay, there's gonna be 5,000 of them, or a million, or however many you want. But just go into details for yourself. You just describe it all. And once you have it, then put an intention, like, okay, so these beings, I create them. I want them to be alive, and literally just by thinking and focusing on it, the same way you would go into your daydreaming about, like, oh man, just me eating Snickers bar, like, I love that, or me getting a new PC, or like new car, and you just think about you driving your new car and how it would feel like. Same way, how it would feel like if you were in that realm with these creatures, with like being one of them, like, hey look, I'm walking among these people. I'm talking, and we talk telepathically. There is no need for expression of like mouth moving and anything else. And however you would design your race and the place, you would just imagine yourself living there. And then same place, same way how in video games we have a default spawn place, or like or respawn. So for example, for me, the quickest one that comes to mind is Dota, or Defender of the Ancients 2. It's like it's a MOBA game, 3 lanes, like you go on top, middle, or bottom, and you pick your character and you go like back and forth, and you need to destroy the ancient of the other team. And if you're killed in the game, you're gonna appear in your base, and this is like, okay, or like you have your own little hospital, or you have your own little place, and you literally put an intention. Once my physical body drops dead, or even earlier than that, I'm gonna appear in this place. And you create a rule for yourself. It is your belief that when your physical body dies, or earlier, this is where you're gonna spawn, this is where you're gonna appear, this is where your consciousness goes. And you kind of lock it up. It's like some people have a belief, when I'm gonna die, I'm gonna see a white light, and then I'm gonna turn around and do this. But they have this like related to the white light, and this is their core default spawning place. They, like, the physical body drops dead, they see white light, and then they can act on in their own way. But this is how they describe it to themselves. You don't have to go that way. You can literally, you're gonna close your eyes once your physical body dies, you're gonna open your eyes, and next thing you know, you're in your realm. And you can have, you can just be point of view, you can go into the physical body, and because it is your own rules, you don't have to live there for however many years. You can like leave at any point in time, but you create that place where you can just like, finally, I can relax and remember my past lives if I want to. I can meet my loved ones, and there's the portal to this place, and everything you designed, everything like even in this background picture that you can see on my stream, like it can be the place where you live. It can be the place of your own creation. So hopefully that gives you some ideas. Like literally, there are no specific rules of how it should be done or has to be done. It just goes in your own creation. You are God. Be creative. How would you like your race to look like? How would you like the realm or place to look like? You describe it to yourself, you write it down for more details, and the more detailed it is, the better. And then just kind of daydream about being there. What would it feel like having your family in that place? How would the food taste like? What would it like the air feel like, and like the smells and everything else? And you just kind of like imagine and play around, and then just tell yourself like, this is where I'm appearing when I die. And your physical body drops dead, your consciousness is there because you told yourself like, hey, I die, I go there. Boom. No need to go through any grids or like see any entities or anything else. No, you literally like free, this is where you went, like decided to go, and this is where you're gonna appear.